2013. It is a Friday, and today's video is going to be about community building within the transgender community. I'm going to kind of give you the types of things that I'm involved in to help build the community, and hope that it encourages other people to get involved as well. Because I feel like, as a minority within a minority, it's very important that we have a really cohesive group of people working together for the same purpose. So, I'll just go ahead and talk about the things that I am currently working on. There's quite a few. Right now, my friend and I are working on establishing a gender variant, transgender, transsexual support group through our Equality Center. Oklahoma is a really difficult state to get support for the LGBT community from the general population, and so it was really awesome that just recently we were able to acquire an Equality Center, a safe space for the GLBT community. Before that, the bars were kind of the central area that people hung out to feel safe in, which, for me, a bar's not going to be my safe space. But anyway, so through the Equality Center, we are trying to establish a transgender support group. It's going to be a peer group, ages 16 to 30, because I'm 25 and my friend is around 25 or 26, I believe. And right now, as far as the steps to establishing it, we have come up with a mission statement. We're trying to come up with a name that I have to submit to the center today. And excuse me. He and I are also working on putting together a binder of resources for the people that attend this group. In past transgender support groups, most of the information for transgender, inclusive, and supportive physicians, employers, and places of businesses were given by mouth, and sometimes people forget the names of the businesses or the doctors or where they're located. So we're putting together a binder. I have called doctors to ask them a specific set of questions regarding transgender healthcare and whether or not they're supportive of it, or supportive of the community, and have any sort of sensitivity training in dealing with transgender individuals. Most of the doctors that I have talked to are very supportive of the community. Some of them may not know very much about treating the community, and so this is a great opportunity for us to go out into the community and educate the doctors, and maybe eventually about, I don't know, 95% of the physicians within the Oklahoma City area will be versed in caring for transgender individuals with no problem. That's my hope. It's kind of a high hope and a kind of a high expectation, but you have to have a goal to shoot for, right? So we put together a list of employers that have no problem hiring transgender people, are very against harassment in their place of business, places to shop for transgender individuals, because we all know, and most of us have been at that point where we've been misgendered, or we just feel awkward going out into society, one, because of our own basic insecurities about our self-identity, and two, for fear of bodily harm, especially here in Oklahoma. I know I've had anxiety before, so we're doing this because we want to make transitioning as easy as possible. It's not going to be a perfect process because of the way that society views things at this current point, but just try to make it as easy as possible. I apologize for rambling, but so that's what we're working on right now. We're planning on meeting starting July. It's going to be a peer-led group, so we're hoping that it's successful, and it is going to be successful. So aside from that, once that gets established and I'm able to raise money for my own surgery, I am going to start planning to establish a medical trust fund for transgender individuals that want to go through the surgery and hormone process but aren't necessarily financially able to cover the cost of their transition, and that's going to be individuals within Oklahoma. I really thought about offering it to people in other places, and I would like to do that, but trying to raise the money myself here in a conservative place like Oklahoma, and I know I keep mentioning Oklahoma, but you have to understand that most of the news coverage that Oklahoma gets is because of hateful comments made by uneducated people. Aside from natural disasters and things of that nature, but Sally Kern, for example, equated homosexuality. Well, not necessarily equated it, but said it was worse than terrorism. And she's in she's our representation in the government. So, anyway, back on topic. I can't, as an individual and as a small group of individuals, you can't necessarily serve everybody in the population. And with my own experience trying to educate people in the Oklahoma community, I feel that my purpose is to help other transgender people here in Oklahoma, where it's really, really hard to get the support to get support. And I actually have sent an initial message to a gentleman by the name of Jacob Rostovsky. He actually is a student, and he founded a nonprofit organization called T.U.F.F, which is the Trans United with Family and Friends, and his whole mission is to help others with the financial assistance of covering their surgeries and hormones and gender reassignment related procedures. I have not actually spoke with him, but I have been working on some questions that I needed to ask him as far as establishing something of that nature. So Jacob, if you're watching, I will be sending you some questions here within the next week or so. But the T.U.F.F organization is a great concept, great idea. I think it's going to do really well. If you would like to go to the website, it's www.tuff.org.com. So www.tuff.org.com. And it's similar to the Jim Collins Foundation. So, as many of these nonprofits that we can get up and running to help our fellow brothers and sisters feel normal, the better, until, policies on healthcare and insurance coverage are changed nationwide, and unfortunately that's not going to happen unless there's a big push for it. So anyway, so working on a medical trust fund once I'm able to fund my own surgeries. I have also been working with a program through Oklahoma University's Women's Outreach Center called OU Center Ally, and their whole mission is to provide sensitivity training to various individuals and professions within the community. They have sensitivity training geared for GLBT people, which they include panelists also in their presentations to kind of give their stories and experiences and answer any questions that people have that they may not ask in a normal life situation or setting. Um, and they have a whole presentation geared toward medical professions and experiences in the medical industry. Um, I am currently going to school as a medical assistant and x-ray technologist at a private college, and I thought that this program would be perfect. This training would be perfect for my class and the program that I'm attending, because medical assistants are the first people that patients see in a practice. They're the people that are either at the desk, um, giving out the paperwork so that you can figure information out, answer some awkward questions. They're the ones that you have to talk to maybe about why you have a beard but your name is Sally, and ask, you know, they're the front lines. They're the people that you have to talk to and kind of communicate with as far as what you want to be called and what you're going through and the care that you would like to receive. And then medical assistants are also the people who come to get you from the waiting room. They take your vitals, um, and ask you the even more awkward questions once you're in the patient room, like when was your last period, or they don't even ask you if you pass like me. So, but that's very important for them to know, because if you still have those parts, they need to make sure that they're being taken care of. Anyway, so these are the frontline people. Medical assistants are the frontline people, and so it's very important for me, in my opinion, that they get trained on sensitivity issues, on how to um, care for transgender people without being offensive or making them feel uncomfortable. Because one, it's good for the medical assistants as far as their success is concerned at the practice. It's good for the practice because it keeps a patient for the practice and the doctors. It doesn't scare a patient away, and it's great for the transgender individual because they feel comfortable and they don't feel like they're going to be harassed or gawked at or stared at. And maybe even if somebody in my class, the practice that they end up being employed at doesn't have any sort of training like this, maybe they can be the person that stands out and provides this training or offers a different perspective and changes the perspective of the practice. So that's what I'm working on right now. And so it's there are a couple of different aspects of the community building, which is reaching out into the GLBT community, gays, lesbians, bisexual, transgender people, and involving them in what we're doing. It's also reaching out to the transgender group as well, so that we all get involved in this and not one person or group organization is doing the work, and we become closer and stronger as a group. And then also reaching out into the community that is ignorant, or I don't want to say ignorant, uneducated on these issues, that may want to know more about them, but didn't know that these issues existed. So I really I enjoy what I do, and it's going to be a lot of work, but this is the kind of stuff that I enjoy doing. I love engaging all of the different populations and demographics and groups into working with each other for a common goal. And so I'm hoping that eventually we can all work together and make it a safe environment, a safe community, a safe state for gender variant people. But we really have to put in the work, and we have to work together. We can't fight. I mean, fighting does nothing. So I encourage you to find a local group a local advocacy group or support group or program within your university, um, to reach out to and volunteer at, and help at, because if we don't advocate for ourselves, who's going to advocate for us? What kind of change is going to happen? What how are you going to change something if you don't do something about it? So that's food for thought. I'm going to go ahead and end this video. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or concerns or comments you want to make, feel free to leave them underneath the video or send me a message. And if you would like to know more about my surgery, send me a message as well. I'll go ahead and give the web address out to you. But again, thank you for watching. I hope that I didn't bore you too bad. But until next time.